You're watching fios1 News. It's 12 noon.
Making headlines in New Jersey, a family in mourning. A father stabbed to death defending his own son. Then a firefighter killed in a head-on collision. It's a stretch of road neighbors call very dangerous. Plus, a lawyer has some explaining to do. He sneaked into a home wearing only a T-shirt and high heels. The news starts right now.
fios1 News, Daytime Edition.
And good afternoon. Thank you for watching. I'm Brian Webb. We'll get to your top stories in just a moment. First, though, a check of the forecast. Let's toss things over to meteorologist Addison Green for the latest. Hi, Addison.
Hey there, Brian. We are definitely seeing a milder morning out there this morning compared to yesterday morning when we can take a look at our temperatures right here for the morning lows. They were anything but low out near Newark. 50 degrees was our lowest temperature this morning. The average low is roughly in the mid to upper 30s. Temperatures so far are all in the 50s out there from Sussex to Newark, even down towards Mount Holly, around 54 degrees or so. But we did see the scattered shower activity come by in the overnight hours through the early morning rush, and it did add up to a little bit in some of the rain gauges here and there. It's a couple hundredths of an inch to a little bit more than a tenth of an inch. That rain has now pushed offshore. We are seeing scattered cloud cover come by. You may see some scattered showers push on in as we go through the midday hours, but heading into the evening hours, we'll just see a little bit of cloud cover eventually fading away as the winds pick up.
A firefighter is dead, killed in a serious accident in Hudson County. fios1's Arnold Godoy speaks to his neighbors who tell us that stretch of roadway in Jersey City is extremely dangerous.
We're learning new details about this fatal crash that happened early this morning. An off-duty New Jersey firefighter died in the head-on collision. You can see the aftermath of this crash here. This all happened on Patterson Plank Road, a silver Mercedes and black or gray Toyota. These two cars in pieces in the middle of the road. The front of both cars crushed from the impact, the Mercedes perpendicular to the road. Some folks in the area tell us this street isn't the safest.
This road is pretty dangerous because a lot of people speeding. So you got to watch out for the signs and the crossroad just to cross, because if not, you're going to get hit and you're going to get killed.
Authorities were on scene for several hours. They arrived a little after 2 a.m., the scene showing this was a serious crash. Residents tell us they've seen a law enforcement presence in this particular area recently to deter drivers from speeding through.
Lately, for a while, they've been having a police car over there.
Denora Orellana tells us drivers tend to slow down when they see the cops, but maybe last night's rain played a role in this crash.
And this road, I really haven't seen, too much accidents. I'm sure due to the weather and stuff like that, but not really.
There are reports 4 other people were involved in this accident. They were taken to Jersey City Medical Center. No word yet on their conditions. In Jersey City, Arnold Godoy, fios1 News.
An update now on a crash on Route 1 in Edison we told you about yesterday. Investigators say a motorcyclist was killed and that the other driver was drunk. The victim, Matthew Muklowitz, was stopped at a red light at the corner of Route 1 and Plainfield Avenue just after midnight Wednesday. That's when the driver of an SUV, Vashwali Gamakonda, slammed into the rear of the motorcycle. He is being charged with death by auto and driving while intoxicated. New developments in the corruption trial against Senator Bob Menendez. After days of deliberation, the jury is deadlocked. Let's go to Dominic Carter at the Newark Federal Courthouse with the latest. Dominic, what can you tell us?
Brian, this story is breaking as of right now, this hour. Any second, they're starting to come out. The reporters are going to be coming out as this is breaking right now. Here's the latest information that we have. You may be able to hear the cell phones in the background. The Judge William Wells, announced just literally seconds ago that there was a note from the jury. The jury has told the judge they will not reach a decision. They are completely deadlocked, and they are standing on conscientious ground. Quoting the letter now, they are not going to budge at all. Abby Lowe, the lawyer for Menendez, just announced that literally, Brian, seconds ago publicly into the courtroom. And so there's a bit of chaos that's starting to take place here at the courthouse. Right now, according to our producers inside the courtroom, Judge Walls has called all the lawyers into his private chamber. They are going to gauge the foreman as to where this stands. Prosecutors are desperately arguing right now for deliberations to continue, but we don't know what's actually going to happen. In all likelihood, there's a strong possibility that this will conclude today with a hung jury, that they have not been able to reach a decision. Again, that's still up in the air. Prosecutors are trying to keep this deliberations going on, but the note from the jury just seconds ago saying they will not reach a decision. They have conscientious status. They're not going to change their point of view. This is a deadlock jury. So if you will, Brian, the judge's hand is being forced as of right now. So just seconds ago, a lot of court personnel, federal marshals, made their way into the courtroom, a capacity crowd, but it looks like this is officially going to be a hung trial. The only question as of right now is, when did it officially happen? That is it for now. The very latest from the courthouse. This is a breaking story as we speak right now. We'll have much more on this throughout the afternoon. Reporting live from Newark, I'm Dominic Carter. Brian, let's go back to you.
Very much. fios1 News will be in fios1 News will be in Newark covering the senator's corruption trial, and we'll bring you all the updates straight from the courtroom throughout the day. An update now on a crash on Route 1 in Edison we told you about yesterday. Investigators say a motorcyclist was killed and that the other driver was drunk. The victim, Matthew Muklowitz, was stopped at a red light at the corner of Route 1 and Plainfield Avenue just after midnight Wednesday. That's when the driver of an SUV, Vashwali Gamakonda, slammed into the rear of the motorcycle. He is being charged with death by auto and driving while intoxicated. A 17-year-old is arrested for stabbing a man trying to defend his son. It happened this week in Jersey City. Police say a group of teens came to the man's house to take sneakers belonging to the 8-year-old. fios1's Jessica Orban has the details.
Jesus Rodriguez looks across the street at where his neighbor used to live just 2 days after he was killed in the doorway of his home in front of his girlfriend and 4 of his 11 children.
He's a pleasant guy, always smiled, and it's just shocking. Right now, I got goosebumps because just talking about it. A great guy.
30-year-old Jose Malave was stabbed to death in his Palisade Avenue apartment Tuesday night. Earlier that day, Malave's 8-year-old son was almost robbed of his sneakers by a group of teenagers. Neighbors say when the teenagers came back to the boy's house looking to follow through with the robbery, Malave came out of his house and had a verbal confrontation with them. Later that night, some of the teens returned, this time stabbing Malave when he opened the door to his home. Rodriguez says he's in shock that someone could be so violent over something so small.
He was a good guy. I mean, he was never in trouble. He's a good family, loved his kids. I used to see his son all the time up and down, but this is shocking to me because I live like 2 blocks away. And I thought this would never happen to such a great neighbor. It's a shame. I mean, for a pair of sneakers, I can't see it.
Scott Atkin didn't know Malave personally, but saw him the day he died. Atkin is the project manager of the construction site at the building next to Malave's house. Atkin says during the month he's been working on the site, he's had several interactions with Malave, and all of them were pleasant. Atkin says Malave was never outside without his kids.
He was very family orientated. His kids were out. He had one of them in his arms. They were out playing. And I was coordinating with them because I'm using his property to stage some of our materials. Very nice guy. Very nice guy. It's so sad that to see something like this hit so close to home.
A 17-year-old whose name has not been released was arrested in connection with Malave's death. He has a list of charges against him, including murder and armed burglary. In Jersey City, Jessica Orban, fios1 News.
The former coach of the Middlesex County college basketball team is facing up to 50 years in prison, found guilty of sex crimes involving minors. Christopher Tarver, who also worked as the recreational director at the Denellen Department of Recreation, has been found guilty of 20 criminal counts of sexually abusing minors. Authorities say the 45-year-old committed the crimes while working at both places. He's also accused of possessing child pornography. Prosecutors say Tarver faces even more charges after more children came forward and accused him of sexual assault. He'll be sentenced in March. A bizarre home invasion this past weekend in Rutherford. A Hackensack lawyer arrested after police say he snuck into a house dressed in nothing but a T-shirt and high heels. fios1's Rob Romano has more.
That makes me sick. This is a professional, and he should know better. He represents people. He goes to court for people like this.
Elizabeth Abraham of Rutherford finds the alleged behavior of 39-year-old Justin Cristiadoro, a Hackensack lawyer, very troubling.
He's setting a really bad example.
Police say Cristiadoro snuck into a house here on Eastern Way in Rutherford this past weekend at 4:30 in the afternoon. When he did so, police say he was in a T-shirt and high heels, and residents called the police. The suspect escaped before being caught. Some who live on this street, like Mona Meyer, find the weird behavior pretty funny.
Bloody hell, forget it.
After leaving Rutherford that evening, Cristiadoro was found in his car in Lyndhurst, parked in a resident's driveway. Police found Molly and ecstasy in his car, and Cristiadoro was arrested.
Custody matters or child support matters.
As an attorney, Cristiadoro represented suspects in the James Bond gang that has targeted wealthy communities in North Jersey for decades. Some say this will, of course, hurt his reputation.
He makes all the lawyers look bad. He should clean his act up.
In Rutherford, Rob Romano, fios1 News.
So many celebrities, they call it the night of too many stars. Coming up, which stars were there and what they are fighting for. That's next.
Brought to you locally in part by Modular Homes Factory Direct.
Hi, let's go behind the scenes on the filming of Modular Homes Factory Direct on the DIY network. Modular Homes Factory Direct, product and savings fly high with DIY, Self-GC program. DIY brings to reality the Modular Homes Factory Direct experience from delivery and set to completion, saving Mr. and Mrs. Dobbs tens of thousands. You can save thousands of dollars, and you can do it now.
If you're like most people in pain, you've probably tried everything. Massages, anti-inflammatories, creams, wraps, but there's something you haven't tried. It's called OxyRub, and for a limited time, you can try it free. OxyRub was developed by Dr. Joseph Pergolesi, a physician and world-renowned pain management expert. It's clinically shown to provide nearly twice the relief of a leading pain relief cream. In just minutes, OxyRub penetrates deep inside your joints and muscles to soothe pain from arthritis, bursitis, tendonitis, strains, sprains, and more, and offers relief for hours. Plus, it's safe to use every day and as often as you need for fast pain relief. And now, for a limited time, you can try OxyRub free. That's right, a 30-day supply free. Because life is better without pain. Now, experience the powerful relief of OxyRub absolutely free. Just pay shipping and handling. To get your free 30-day supply, call now. This free tube offer is not available in stores, so call now.
Your morning commute can be a challenge, and the evening rush even worse. fios1 News real-time cutting-edge traffic technology keeps you moving in New Jersey.
Definitely get busy later on.
fios1 News, only on Verizon Fios TV. fios1 News is sponsored by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit MBUSA.com. You're watching fios1 News, the one place for what's happening in New Jersey.
Happy Thursday, everyone. The weekend is almost here, and we have the forecast details you need to know. I'm meteorologist Addison Green, and looking at our temperatures for the day yesterday in our almanac, we were nearly on the money of where we should be for this time of the year for both the highs and the lows, and we did not see anything come down the rain gauge yesterday. We definitely do need more rain for the month, but not so much for the year. But we did see a little bit of that shower activity come down, adding up to maybe a couple hundredths of an inch to a little bit more of a tenth of an inch earlier on today. But we're drying out now. The high pressure is moving on in. It'll be doing so as we go through the rest of the day today and then through tomorrow as well as those winds begin to pick up. Saturday's rainy chances are out there, but mostly for the second half of the day and into Sunday. You're going to be saying hold on to your hat because we have a persistent wind coming on out of the northwesterly direction, 20, 30 miles per hour. For the sustained winds, maybe going to gusts, maybe going over 30 miles per hour. Across the Cranberry area, you can certainly see the skies are looking a little bit better out there. Don't see the scattered showers coming on down. And with high pressure in place tomorrow, we'll have a fair amount of sunshine. It'll be on the brisk side with those breezy winds coming on by. For Saturday, the rain moves in later in the day, and we'll be noticing our temperatures into the mid-50s. And then we're going to be seeing those numbers cool down as we have a northwesterly wind come into the picture for Sunday.
Actors and comedians coming together for a night of too many stars. It's a benefit airing live on HBO to raise money for autism. And the host of the event, former Daily Show host and New Jersey native Jon Stewart. fios1 News' Christine Sloan has more.
Olivia Munn, Chris Rock, and Stephen Colbert, some of the big names headlining the night of Too Many Stars. Comedian Jon Stewart's been hosting the event since 2005. I sat down to talk with him about the event that so far has raised more than $24 million to support autism educational services.
Why is this so important to you to do this?
Well, I think after, Robert Smigel and his wife Michelle started this, their son Daniel is on the spectrum, and he's more severely affected than maybe a lot. And just seeing, with all the resources that are available to Robert, writer on SNL and Triumph the Insult Dog and all these amazing things, I think I was taken aback by how difficult it is for people to find the services, to find the support they need to help their child.
So the money that's raised, does it go to programs?
Yes.
Does it goes to programs, research, or just programs?
It's not so. There are a lot of groups that focus more on the science side of it. This is really our focus is much more on improving educational services and services for families, because what they go through in terms of expense.
But why is it important for all of us to care about this issue and, as a community, do something about it?
What I didn't realize is just how pervasive it was. And they talk about now that it's, I think, 1 in 48 boys, or 1 in, it's a wildly pervasive issue. And the families that are dealing with it really are oftentimes at their wits' end at just not knowing where to turn for services.
Stars come out, but you really put everything into this.
Well, I follow Robert and Michelle's lead, Robert and Michelle Smigel, and they are tireless. And so that kind of gives me the inspiration to keep working on it and focusing on it. We're really happy that HBO has taken it up.
It's an extraordinary event. And what's next for you after this?
That is an excellent question.
What is it like being back on TV again?
It's very similar to not being on TV.
Oh, yeah?
Other than the showering and the makeup.
You have to shower.
Shower and makeup.
Nothing better than laughter to bring everyone together for an important cause. If you want to donate, watch A Night of Too Many Stars live on Saturday at 8 p.m. on HBO. Christine Sloan, fios1 News.
More news to get to after the break, but first a quick programming note. Each weekday morning, watch Market Movers, presented by our partners at Yahoo Finance, for the business news you need to know for the trading day ahead. Catch Market Movers at 9:25 a.m. right here on fios1 News, and stay with us. We'll be right back.
fios1 News is brought to you locally by Inglewood Hospital and Medical Center, your hospital for life.
Her curly hair, smile, nose, eyes, everything. It was love at first sight.
We wanted a family. We wanted this baby more than anything. I was 14 weeks along my pregnancy when I was diagnosed with cervical cancer. The team at Inglewood built my trust by always being very direct with me. I gravitated towards that. You don't ever want to give up on hope.
Hi, I'm fios1 News meteorologist Joe Chaffee. Hurricane season is here, and we know our region is vulnerable. Educate yourself today on what types of wind and water hazards could happen where you live, and then start preparing for how to handle them. Hurricanes are not just a coastal problem. Their impacts can be felt hundreds of miles inland. Know the risks and protect yourself and your family from the next dangerous storm.
You're watching fios1 News, only on Verizon Fios TV.
You're going to need me. You're going to need all of us. You're going to need the next generation of leaders to face the challenges the future will bring. And we promise we'll be there when you need us.
This portion of the news is brought to you by the Wayne Tile Outlet Center, where gorgeous tile is at least 50% off. Stop in today.
President Trump is on Capitol Hill today talking tax reform. He'll be meeting with Republicans before the House votes on the massive tax bill, and it's a legislative victory GOP leaders are hoping to land by Christmas. Janae Norman is following the latest on Capitol Hill.
Looking for a legislative victory, President Trump headed to Capitol Hill today to rally Republicans toward a tax reform win.
We developed the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act with those low and middle income families in mind.
They need a break.
Today's vote expected to pass the House, but then there's the Senate, where the GOP plan already faces major hurdles. Senate Republicans can only afford to lose 2 votes. So far, Republican Ron Johnson of Wisconsin says he can't support the massive tax overhaul. His reason? He says the bill favors big corporations over small businesses. Democrats already oppose the plan, most recently arguing Republicans are turning the tax bill into a health care bill with a proposal to repeal the Obamacare mandate requiring Americans have health insurance. That's projected to save more than $300 billion over the next 10 years, but also expected to leave an estimated 13 million more Americans uninsured by 2027.
Mr. Speaker, the American people do not support the GOP tax plan being considered today. After promising a simple and fair tax system, Republicans offer a complicated mess.
And concerns about what that could mean for Americans' health care premiums has Republican Senator Susan Collins unsure of the plan.
That was Janae Norman reporting. With the bill expected to pass the House today, Republicans will need to reconcile the differences between the House and Senate versions. And they're on a tight self-imposed deadline, too, trying to wrap up tax reform by the end of the year. New accusers are coming forward, accusing Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore of sexual misconduct. Tina Johnson telling AL.com that Moore grabbed her at his law office. And the Washington Post reports 2 more women accuse him of unwanted advances at a nearby mall. But the 70-year-old Moore is not backing down. His attorney now asking for a handwriting expert to evaluate Moore's alleged signature. It's in the yearbook of one of his accusers, Beverly Young Nelson, and it was meant to show that Moore knew her, something he denies.
Look at those 2 7s, and then look below at the 77. And I want to ask you, do you think it was written by the same person?
Top Republican Party leaders are urging Moore to drop out of the race. 2 cats are missing after a fire, but these are not your average house cats. The search is on for 2 world record holding cats with a big reward for the person who finds them. That story's next.
This portion of the news is brought to you by the Wayne Tile Outlet Center, where gorgeous tile is at least 50% off. Stop in today.
Hey, I'm at Wayne Tile. Where are you guys? I'm in Ramsey? I'm at the Sussex store. I'm at Rockaway.
I'm at the outlet center.
Funny, I'm at the Wayne store.
Wayne Tile has 5 convenient locations in New Jersey.
Meet for lunch after we're done shopping?
Step into Wayne Tile today and get inspired.
Hi, Todd Van Doren here for Ramsey Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. We want to keep car buying simple. We don't use gimmicky rebates or wild price discounts. Just an honest deal at a great price. For a lease, we use a reasonable down payment and include every factory incentive. For a purchase, we'll show you our discount plus every factory rebate applicable. For your trade-in, it's simple. We'll be as generous as we can.
During our Black Friday sales event, visit Ramsey Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram for your next new vehicle.
Ramsey Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Real people, real deals.
Well, we are 1 week away from Thanksgiving, so we're going to take a little sneak peek at the holiday as a couple of turkeys are trying to get out of town before everyone starts looking for them to be hopping into the oven and then right onto the dinner room table right there. We can certainly see that our skies outside be on the pleasant side. Partly cloudy conditions with a touch of a chill in the air. Upper 30s to low 40s as we push into those afternoon high temperatures. Across New Jersey, we can certainly see we do have a little bit of some scattered cloud cover out there with scattered showers around the northeast. We're waiting for these frontal boundaries, just a occluded front and cold front, to swing on through. Then we'll open the door for northwesterly wind to come on in, bringing cooler conditions over time as we make our way to tonight and then through tomorrow. But as that cold front passes on by, it may trigger off a few isolated rogue showers here and there, nothing too detrimental, but you may have to break out the umbrella once again here and there. But heading into the evening hours, watch these temperatures start to drop from the 40s and then to the 30s as we go through the overnight time frame, where tomorrow morning we start our day all in the 30s towards the freezing point in the Sussex area and a little bit milder as we get towards the Jersey Shore. But nonetheless, it's going to be a cooler day tomorrow than how we are dealing with today. Then we're right back into the 50s on Saturday with the next system approaching, bringing us a chance for rain late in the day. We'll be around through the overnight hours, then through Sunday morning, I should say, as the rain fades. Be brisk as we go through Sunday afternoon and into Monday as a new high-pressure system takes over. It should stick around through next week as we have a nice conditions out there for traveling as well as for turkey carving.
A desperate search for 2 cats missing after a fire in Michigan, but these aren't your average house cats. Each is a world record holder, and the owner is promising a big reward if they are found. fios1's Christine Persichetti has more.
Dinner time for world record cats.
Felines Arcturus and Cygnus are social media stars. Arcturus holds the Guinness Book of World Records for the tallest cat at 19 inches.
Be the equivalent of, Arcturus being about a 10-foot tall human.
While his housemate and best friend Cygnus holds his own world record for the longest tail.
I think that they're aware of their stardom. Arcturus definitely is. He knows when we're taking him out to an event, and he goes into his star mode.
But devastating news for Arcturus and Cygnus and their human parents, Will and Laura Powers. After a terrifying fire destroyed their home in Farmington Hills, Michigan, Cygnus and Arcturus are missing. Will Powers pleading for help on Facebook, writing, "I tried to save the cats, but couldn't find them before I was overcome with smoke. I did manage to open a few doors in hopes they would run out. So if any in the Farmington area finds a cat matching their description, please notify us." The Powers are hopeful someone in the area might have caught a glimpse. Christine Persichetti, fios1 News.
A hefty price to pay for a piece of history. A record-breaking price for this painting sold last night in Manhattan. More on the painting and the mystery surrounding the buyer coming up.
Hey, New Jersey, have I got great news for you. We now have 3 great locations and 1 low price. Route 46 Nissan in Totowa, Edison Nissan in Edison, and Route 33 Nissan in Hamilton now gives you the power of 3. You can now save up to $7,500 on vehicles like Ultima, Pathfinder, and Maxima. So what does the power of 3 Nissan dealerships mean for you? Great selection, great service, great savings. Route 33 Nissan, Edison Nissan, Route 46 Nissan, where we always make buying fun and easy.
fios1nj.com. The best way to get all your hyper-local news, weather, traffic, and sports. Exclusively for New Jersey. Just log on to fios1nj.com. And you can follow us on Facebook. Just log on to facebook.com/fios1newsnj. Or follow us on Twitter at fios1newsnj. Get Fios1 News at fios1newsnj.com.
A painting by Leonardo da Vinci makes history, fetching a record price at auction.
Leonardo Salvator Mundi selling here at Christie's. $400 million is the bid, and the piece is sold.
There you go. Final price tag, a whopping $400 million, $450 when you include the fees. That beats the old record by $150 million. And for good reason. There are fewer than 20 known Da Vinci paintings in the world. It was sold last night in Manhattan at Christie's Auction House at Rockefeller Center. The big secret, though, who bought it? The buyer hasn't been identified. The 26-inch tall painting dates back to around 1500. And that's the news for now. Thank you for watching. If you see news happening, call the fios1 News tip line at 855 on fios1 or 663